Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, just finished watching the WWE NXT Stand and Deliver pay-per-view on Peacock. So, just wanted to jump on here right quick and give my thoughts on the matches that happened. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the pre-show match was actually the WWE NXT Women's Tag Team Championships on the line, as the champs, Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, defended against the newly reunited Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Of course, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez coming into this as the face team. And this match was alright for the most part. I mean, there were times where it was the match was kind of going a little slow paced. But it picked up a little bit here and there throughout the match. But for the most part, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. But the key thing that was the turning point of this match is Wendy Choo. Wendy Choo shows up with Gigi Dolan on the outside of the ring, smacks her with her pillow, and then douses her with Sunkissed that was in her big cup. And then Raquel Gonzalez pretty much takes her out with a big boot on the outside. And then both Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez finish off JC Jane in the ring. Dakota Kai with the running Yakuza kick. As a matter of fact, I believe she did the scorpion kick before that. But Raquel Gonzalez finishes off JC Jane with a Chikonga bomb. Gets the 1, 2, 3. And Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai are now your two-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, looking back on this, I wasn't too big on them reuniting. I mean, yeah, they were, former tag team, but now they're back together. Because I felt like they were writing off Wendy Choo, but thankfully Wendy Choo showed up and really was the turning point of this match. But when you think about it, we have to remember Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are the first NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Remember, they won last year's Women's Dusty Tag Classic and were awarded the newly formed NXT Tag Team titles. And then they lost them on the first defense to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. So it's looking like they're doing this to kind of give them an actual run. But it looks like NXT 2.0, it looks like they're not done with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, as they're now the tag team champs again. But it looks like they're going to actually get a decent run, which they didn't have before. So it is what it is. I mean, I was kind of thinking it was about time for them to jump over to the main roster, especially Dakota Kai. I mean, Dakota Kai's been there forever, but yeah, she's still on NXT 2.0, so looks like they're going to be on there a little longer, but we'll see what happens. And the next up, they went ahead and did the NXT North American Championship ladder match. So, of course, the champion going into this was Carmelo Hayes. And the other competitors were Cameron Grimes, Santos Escobar, you had Grayson Waller, and you had Solo Sikoa. So, those were your men for this match. And I have to say, while, yes, it was a spot fest, there were some really sick spots in this match that I really enjoyed. Grayson Waller's bodyguard, that Indian bodyguard, getting sandwiched in between two ladders. Santos Escobar giving that sunset flip powerbomb off the top of the ladder onto a ladder with Solo Sikoa. That was a pretty sick spot. I mean, Santos Escobar he was phenomenal in this match. I mean, at one point I was thinking Santos Escobar might even win because he looked great in this ladder match. I do feel for Grayson Waller. He took that really nasty flying forearm dive from the top of the ladder through a ladder. It looked like he broke his arm. I hope he's okay. I really do hope he's okay. But it looked like he might have broke his arm. But he looked hurt. He definitely looked hurt after that spot. But just everybody definitely got to showcase very well in this match. I mean, we even saw a ladder get split in half as well. But it was nonstop action. Definitely nonstop action. But when it was all said and done, Cameron Grimes gets one last cave-in and races up the ladder and is able to capture the NXT North American Championship. So Cameron Grimes to the moon. And of course, another North Carolinian wrestler from Burlington, North Carolina. So definitely congratulations to Cameron Grimes. Definitely, this was a good call, very good call, and I think he's going to have a good run. I really do. And Cameron Grimes, I always thought was a great wrestler. He tore it up in Impact Wrestling, former X Division champion. He's torn it up in Chikara and Evolve. Like, I love me some Cameron Grimes. So definitely happy for him. And you know, this was big. This was definitely big for him. So congratulations to one of North Carolina's own, Cameron Grimes, on winning the NXT North American Championship. All right, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Tony D'Angelo. Tommaso Ciampa's final NXT match. And it was a good one. It was definitely a good one, back and forth. Tony D'Angelo had a manager in his corner. Didn't catch the name, but had him in his corner. I was pretty surprised with not so much the ending, but the finish. I thought the finish was kind of weak, but they really made Tony D'Angelo look really strong, and he was put over with this match. I mean, he took not only a Willow's Bell, but then turned right around and took a fairy tale ending and still got the shoulder up. Now, I know a while back when he fought Pete Dunne, he did kick out of a bitter end. But, I mean, got hit with a signature, got hit with a finisher back-to-back, and still got the shoulder up. That was... As soon as that happened, I knew right then and there, yeah, Tony D'Angelo's going to win. And, of course, he was able to hit Tommaso outside the ring with a DDT on the exposed concrete. Threw him back in and kind of like kicked him in the head and then covered him. It was a pretty weak finish, but just had a little kick to the head. And then he made the cover, the 1-2-3. Tony D'Angelo defeats Tommaso Ciampa in his very last NXT match. Now, of course, the crowd gave him a big standing ovation. And then as he was walking up the ramp, getting ready to leave, Triple H's music hits. And Triple H comes out to give him a hug and just share one last moment with Tommaso Ciampa. You know, still one of the black and gold originals. And Triple H and Tommaso Ciampa had a really touching moment there. So it looks like Tommaso Ciampa's getting ready to be full-time main roster, and it looks like, word is, I guess he's going to be on Raw. I know he was just recently in the SmackDown Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that took place yesterday. But, I mean, we know he's going to be on the main roster. Now, how will he do on the main roster remains to be seen, but I don't have high hopes. Because, I mean, you know what a lot of the NXT talent has been through once they get onto the main roster. So, just saying. But Tommaso Ciampa, definitely one of the best NXT champions in the black and gold brand. Was former NXT tag team champion as well. Him and Johnny Gargano, DIY. He's had quite a career in NXT. Most definitely. So, definitely congratulations to Tommaso Ciampa. Alright, we had the NXT tag team titles on the line in a triple threat match. We had the champs, Imperium, Marcel Bartel, Fabian Eichner, defending against Julius and Brutus Creed, the Creed brothers, and MSK, Wesley and Nash Carter. Now, I noticed that Imperium got some new theme music. MSK had that fancy DJ entrance, but definitely this was a pretty decent match. I felt like all three tag teams were showcased pretty well. Overall, pretty decent. And it got to the point where near the end, Imperium just flat out destroyed and just pretty much eliminated the Creed brothers, hitting that European bomb from off the apron. Just, yeah. Once that happened, I figured that was a wrap. That was definitely a wrap. But MSK was able to take advantage and take out Imperium and get the final kill shot. And MSK are now your two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. Now, while I do like MSK, I still feel like the Creed brothers were robbed of their opportunity. Because we have to remember, the Creed brothers won the men's Dusty Tag Classic. And I just really feel like they should have gotten a one-on-one or two-on-two tag team title shot instead of a triple threat. So that's my only complaint with that. Mm-hmm. Creed brothers really should have gotten a 2-on-2 match. But MSK are your new tag champs for the second time. Next up, we had the NXT Women's Championship Fatal 4-Way match, as the champion, Mandy Rose, defended against Cora Jade, Io Shirai, and Kaylee Ray. Cora Jade had an entrance with a bunch of different skateboarders, so I thought that was pretty neat. Mandy Rose had an entrance like coming down from like angel's wings, descending from above. I thought that was pretty neat. Although the lighting was really, really bright throughout that whole segment, even through the ring introductions, the official introductions. It just felt like the lighting was really bright. And, Mandy Rose kind of had that entrance. It also kind of reminded me of Shawn Michaels as well. I think that was what she was going for in part of her entrance, with the jacket, with the sunglasses, that sort of thing. I definitely got that Shawn Michaels vibe from it. But it was cool. It was really cool. And this was actually one of my favorite matches of the card. Thoroughly enjoyed this match. All four ladies looked great. Everybody really got a chance to shine. Especially Cora Jade. I really like what they've been doing with Cora Jade, especially in the ring. I mean, Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai, they're awesome by default. So you're not going to get anything less than awesome from those two ladies. And, the final segment was pretty crazy. You had Kaylee Ray hit Cora Jade with the gory bomb. Kaylee Ray was going to go up top. Io Shirai gets shoved off. Io Shirai hits a moonsault. And then out of nowhere, Mandy Rose with a running knee. And she actually pins Io Shirai for the 1-2-3 to retain the NXT Women's Championship. That's big. Mandy Rose pinning Io. Like, she didn't pin Cora. She pinned Io. So, that's big. That's really, really big for Mandy Rose. But I figured that not all of Toxic Attraction was going to lose at this show. So, tag team titles were lost, but Mandy Rose, the leader of Toxic Attraction, retained. And you know what? I know a lot of people wanted Io to win and become two-time champ, but I think you got to keep Mandy Rose going as women's champion just a little longer, maybe a couple of more months longer. Just really, she's really having the best time of her career right back in NXT. So I think we got to keep her with the title just a little longer, like maybe going into the fall perhaps, but I think we got to keep that title on her a little longer. But I really like what they're doing with her and Toxic Attraction. So kudos to Mandy Rose. She's still your NXT Women's Champion. And then we had LA Knight versus Gunther, which, I mean, although I was impressed to see LA Knight give Gunther a burning hammer, we all pretty much knew Gunther was going to win this match. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. He was able to capitalize, chopped LA Knight's leg from under him while he was on the turnbuckle. I was like, jeez. But hit the diving splash and hit a power bomb to pretty much end it. And once again, LA Knight loses another big one. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with LA Knight. I've even heard hints that maybe LA Knight will get fast-tracked to the main roster. But he's been taking a handful of L's on NXT 2.0 lately. So, yeah. But Gunther, despite Imperium losing the tag titles, Gunther still remains strong and picks up the victory over LA Knight. And then we have the main event, the NXT Championship match. The champion, Mr. Ziggles, Dolph Ziggler, of course, he was accompanied by Robert Roode, taking on Braun Breaker. And he had a neat little entrance with the colorful chainsaw chopping down the big giant X and NXT in the middle, which it was probably made out of like foam or like some sort of weak wood or something like that. But hey, at least he had his safety goggles on. But honestly, it was a pretty dang on good match. But I mean, interference was expected. I don't know. Like, personally, I'm not a big fan of the interference happening. The person gets kicked out, and then they sneak back in and interfere some more. Like, it's just, I don't know, it just takes away the effect of being kicked to backstage. So I just feel like it ruins that effect. So I would have been fine if that had never happened, like Bobby Roode getting thrown out. But I mean, and then in the midst of him getting thrown out, Dolph Ziggler, in anger and disgust, removed the middle turnbuckle pad of that lower right corner, which as soon as I saw that, I knew that was going to come into play. I definitely knew that was going to come into play. And sure enough, it definitely did. It looked like Braun Breaker was about to have it. I mean, he hit the Gorilla Press power slam, but went for the cover. Robert Roode came back, pulled the referee out, and pretty much that was what led to Braun Breaker doing a pretty nice somersault senton from the inside of the ring, hitting both men. And it looked like he was about to lose his pants, too. But Dolph Ziggler took advantage. He did hit him with a Famouser and zigzag combo. Braun Breaker still got the shoulder up. And was going to... He hit him with another spear. And was going to hit him with another Gorilla Press power slam. But Mr. Ziggles gouged out the eyes of Braun Breaker. And then shoved him into that exposed middle turnbuckle steel. And he took advantage. Rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler retains the NXT Championship. And to be honest, I was really disappointed with the outcome. I was under the impression Dolph Ziggler was going to have that NXT Championship for that moment, just to say he finally got that title that he's never won. But it looks like he's going to have it for a while. And I guess the word is they're going to fast track Braun Breaker to the main roster, which I do not like that idea at all. But I got a feeling, being that they had the Steiner Brothers Hall of Fame induction, that maybe Vince just is like, you know what, we're going to do that, and we're going to bump Braun Breaker to the main roster full time. And it's really a bummer, because Braun Breaker did not have a long NXT Championship run. He didn't have that title for long. So I don't know. I'm guessing that they're going to have Dolph Ziggler be the main star to help build up the younger talent. But he never really needed that NXT Championship, personally. But looks like this is what they're going to do. But anyway, that's pretty much NXT Stand and Deliver. Pretty decent show. I'm not going to say it was excellent, but it definitely wasn't trash. Definitely wasn't trash. But I'm not going to say it was excellent. I mean, there have been previous takeovers that have been better than this. But for the most part, I did enjoy. This show. But yeah, let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What did y'all think of NXT Stand and Deliver? Were your predictions correct? And also, with that, off the books, all that's left for tonight is WrestleMania Night 1. And then tomorrow, WrestleMania Night 2. So we'll see how WrestleMania does tonight and tomorrow. But if you ask me, I don't think it's going to beat out Stand and Deliver. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's all that I have for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. But this is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram signing off with this edition of Pro Wrestling Talk. Brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I will be back next time to give my thoughts on WrestleMania 38 Night Number 1. So look forward to that. But until then, everybody have a great evening. Hope y'all enjoy WrestleMania. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.